And here's one of the world's biggest #2 hitters, Dave Parker. And he got the strike right on the knees.
That home run he hit off of Stottlemyre in April, he just got the head of the bat out. Of course, as big as he is, he put it over the right field. And it was a matter of the outfielders not determining if it was going or not. It's just to see how far it was going to go, because it went over the right field by a long margin.
There's his first breaking ball of the day, and it's way high for a ball. Well, he's a little like his dad in as much as he likes to work in a hurry. We'd like to welcome all of those who have been watching the news bulletins on some of our stations, in particular, I understand, in San Francisco. This is Monty Moore with Ray Fosse, and we are at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. There's one down here in the top half of the first inning. Louis Polonia struck out against Todd Stottlemyre, and here's Dave Parker. And he fouls that one back. The A's have won the first 2 games of this series here in Toronto. That's ball 4. Look at Parker sling that bat away. He throws the bat farther after walking than anybody I've ever seen. That one went all the way in the dugout.
You know what's happening, too? Some of the other players are starting to do it. It's contagious, except that they can't fling it as far as Dave can because of his size and his strength.
Boy, it's a little dangerous. I'll tell you, if Pitch gets ball 3, I bet guys get out of the corner of the dugout. Well, here's a guy who hits the ball. Some guys throw the bat, others hit the ball, and this guy hits it a ways. 20 home runs, that's more than any other big leaguer has hit this year, though there are some closing in on him. But look at the batting average along with it, 292 for Jose Canseco. He had a good cut, and that one is fouled off the hands of Ernie Whitt, and he's going to shake that one for a while, Ray. You got an ugly-looking finger from something like that happening to you.
Well, the thing that causes that is the fact there's a base runner on base, and you, with a one-handed mitt, you cannot protect that hand as much as you can without a strike. You can see Ernie Whitt's right hand behind his glove. There's the glove opens up, and there is what is called being a very unlucky catcher.
He even had it closed, Ray.
Well,
he still had the fist closed.
But that's the good thing. If you keep the fist closed, put your thumb inside, your other 4 fingers, kind of wrap it around, and keep it that way, very relaxed, then if the ball does hit off of it, your hand is not tensed and have less of a chance of breaking a bone, but you know that's going to be hurting.
And you also know if it were somebody other than Dave Parker, you're going to be running on the next pitch because he figures you can't throw it back to the pitcher, let alone second base.
Well, one of the problems that happens, you see a lot of catchers today with runners, bases loaded a lot of times. A runner on third base, you see them put that right hand behind their back to protect it. You can't do that with runners on base, especially in scoring position. You have to have that hand around in front so that you can try to block the ball if it's thrown in the dirt.
Well, the fingers are still working. He moved those. That's a little bit low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Jose Canseco. 1 out in the first inning. The front-running Oakland Athletics in the Western Division have owned this Toronto team this year, having won all 7 games against Toronto. And Stottlemyre is throwing hard. Strange-looking ballpark here in Toronto, I got to tell you. Football stadium converted to baseball, and it'll be a welcome change when they get their new baseball stadium. Jose right through the fastball. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ball's hit pretty well to left field. You can chalk out number 21 for Canseco. He hit it out of here. And the big guy from Florida has just struck again. Man, did he hit that baseball. As soon as he hit it, like most of those guys who do that, he had the feel and he went into the slow trot.
Monty, I'll be very honest with you. A little technical work going on up here, and I was just moving some things. I didn't see this.
You didn't see it.
No, but you know what? I heard it. I heard it. That's what I'm saying. You could hear the crack of the bat. I knew it was gone just by that crack of the bat. That's how hard he hit it. And now I get to see it on the replay. Ball in on him. He tied him up as always. Does not able to extend his arm. That's right. But you don't have to worry about that. You have a guy throwing this hard in the 90s, and you tap a swing like that on it. You see him not able to extend his arms, but yeah, I knew it was gone.
He didn't. He did not get his arms out on that pitch, but he is so strong, and he got the head of that bat out there. And Stottlemyre's fastball was what you call in baseball turned around. It went the other way quickly. And here's Ron Hasse. Oh, what a job this fellow's done for Oakland this year. He swung at that pitch, as third base umpire John Shulock.
When you have a pitcher who throws as hard as Stottlemyre does, and you have hitters who can turn a fastball around like the A's can, you have to mix in those other pitches. And one thing Ernie Wood has not done so far is call a lot of breaking balls. He's starting to now.
There was one, and Hasse's out in front. And Fred McGriff, first sacker for Toronto, gets on the bag in time. They're 2 down.
You have to work those breaking balls in to be able to show the opposition, show the A's hitters that he can throw it. He will throw it. He may not throw it for strikes, but and they know that when he does get behind, he's going to come in with a fastball. But just the thought in their mind that he might throw the breaking ball could definitely help.
Here's Dave Henderson, the A's center fielder. Now look at those batting averages and statistics for him. What a year he's having. Here's a breaking ball, and it's low for ball 1. I was on a radio talk show from Oklahoma City the other day, Ray, and they were talking to me about the Oakland A's and swing and a miss. And one of the things I get such a kick out of telling about the A's these days is what the new people have done to turn this season around for Oakland. And this is one of the biggest surprises, personally to me, is Dave Henderson. You just don't know how good a guy is in baseball until you see him play every day, I suppose.
Well, you know, he made a statement when he was signed by the A's in the spring. He said, if you look down the lineup, you go through Parker, Baylor, McGuire, Canseco, he says, by the time they get to me, I'm going to be seeing a fat pitch. That was his thinking. But the thing that impresses me a lot is the fact that he does think a lot when he's up there.
They got him that time. But the A's got Stottlemyre for 2 here in the inning. And the score after a half inning in Toronto, 2-0 Oakland.
Leading off the second.
Sunday, July 17th is Smokey the Bear Helmet Day at the Oakland Coliseum. The first 10,000 kids 15 and under are going to receive an A's helmet, compliment the A's and the U.S. Forest Service. You can charge tickets by phone today by calling any of those numbers you see on the screen. Operators are standing by even today and order tickets for that. And here we go now into the last of the second with Kelly Gruber, the third baseman.
Well, one of the changes in the Blue Jays lineup today with George Bell hitting third and Kelly Gruber in the 4th spot. That 4th spot last year, Bell's permanent position because the number of the home runs that he hit. And here's a young man that has 50 RBIs, 11 home runs this year. Actually, more home runs than George Bell, more RBIs than Bell. So,
this is a young fellow they wanted to come along. They had that platoon system at third base the last few years. And this guy came along, played well in the minor leagues, and they look at his RBI potential, and it changed that situation over there at third base. Base hit center field. Looks like Storm left that one up in the strike zone a little bit. And Gruber powdered it. So there's the first Toronto base runner of the day. It comes in the second inning.
Well, he is definitely a free swinger. He does not walk that much. He'll strike out a few times. He has struck out 50 times this year, only 19 walks, and now 289 at bats. But he's a free swinger, and a lot of times you have to pitch accordingly. He figured he is going to be up swinging the bat. A lot of times it's a good chance to bounce a curveball in the dirt with a hitter like that.
Talk about a free swinger. Here's Fred McGriff. He's got 15 homers. He's already struck out 76 times this year, and he hit that ball in the air off third. Going to be in the seats. Out of play. Base. Despite the fact the Blue Jays don't have what you could call a real big league stadium, they have had big league crowds ever since they threw out the first ball here, Ray.
But quiet crowds.
Are they?
Oh, they are very quiet.
Curveball from Storm's a little low.
Dave, Steve was telling me yesterday that the only time the fans here will say something or do something is when they score a run after the fact, you know. So he wants them to be able to get something going and get a rally going. Even now, the big hit for Gruber, just very little talk or anything going on in the stands.
It isn't that Toronto had not had baseball, professional baseball, for all the years before they got the big league. They had some very successful minor league teams up here. Gets away from Ron Hasse, and that puts a runner at second base. The crowd reacts a little bit. They see somebody moving over to second. I didn't see that ball bounce. I don't think it did it?
Well, you can see it just did bounce.
They're going to call it a pass ball anyway.
Well, it shouldn't be. I think if they saw that replay, they would have seen that it bounced in the dirt.
You can bet if there's any margin for pass ball or wild pitch there, Ray Fosse is going to vote pass ball on your wild pitch.
Hey, anytime it's in the dirt, you have to block enough of it. Don't get credit for him sometimes.
Well, that's on the inside corner. McGriff backed out of there. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Weiss cannot come up with that one, and the Blue Jays have a run. It's 2-1. Brad McGriff hit a ripper right back up the middle, and Walt Weiss took a shot at it but couldn't come up with it.
That's just the ball picking up the speed off the turf. Walt getting over it, just ate his glove up. I tell you, just went down, and the ball definitely picks up speed off of the artificial surface. But there's a case, had not the runner been at second base, that could have been a double play for 2 quick outs.
Now here's Ernie Witt, the catcher. It's in there for a call strike. The Blue Jays are starting the second half of their season today, numerically. Ball's fouled off. This is game number 82 for them. The A's have played 79, so this is their 80th game of the year.
And just a lot of people talking about the A's record and what the A's have to do to win the Western Division, which quite a bit different from the Blue Jays, because they figured out they'd have to win almost 7 out of 10 ball games the rest of the season to win 94 ball games, or 95, which is what they won last year. That's a pretty healthy winning percentage to finish off the rest of the season.
Only one play here, and hit off his foot. It's a foul ball. Witt fouled that one off his foot, so there's no play. Nobody out. Last half of the second inning, the Athletics lead 2-1 on Jose Canseco's line drive home run up into the seats in left field after Dave Parker had walked. Ernie fouls it off. Well, Ernie's going to have some bruises today. He's already had one off his hand, and now he's had one off his foot.
And Storm Davis has to be concerned about his stopping. He was a little quick that time. Yesterday, Jim McKeon called 2 balks on Gene Nelson in a ball game that was 11-3 when he called him on it. So they will call him, definitely, this crew will.
Just foul tipped it. The A's, right after the game today, jump on the charter plane and head out to Cleveland, where there'll be 4 games there and then 4 games in Detroit. So there are 8 games in the next 7 days for the Athletics, and it's taxing the pitching staff to the point that Tony La Russa has named a mystery pitcher for Wednesday's game in Detroit, or in Cleveland. This is just outside.
And it could even be someone from the AAA club. We're talking to Carl Keel and keeping in contact with him as far as the pitchers up there. Tony was saying that in his manager's show this morning, and they may just bring somebody up for that Wednesday ball game.
There's another base hit right up the middle. McGriff is going to hold on at second base, and it's 3 hits in a row here in the second inning off Storm Davis. Well, he's got to stop him. Yesterday, the A's turned in 4 double plays.
Ernie Witt likes to pull the ball, and as a result of that, Mike Gallego was playing him to pull. You see how far away Mike Gallego was from that ball, and he hit it right up the middle. Of course, it was an off-speed pitch. I think he was protecting a little with the 2 strikes and hit it perfectly up the middle.
And now here's Lloyd Mosby, who's hit 7 homers this year. Takes a strike right on the knees. Boy, the double play ball has jumped up and bit the Blue Jays yesterday 4 times in that game. Strike 2. Mosby turned around and shot daggers at home plate umpire Mark Johnson on that one. Little smile, sarcastic one.
Well, that's what you call a good sinker that caught the outside corner. Not where Ron Hassey caught it.
That could be 2 right there. Down to second. They got him there. Gallego to first. Got a pair. Carney Lansford got rid of that one in a hurry to little Mike Gallego, and he had to reach for it a little bit.
You can see the play. Watch Carney catch the ball with palm up right there so he can make the quick turn to second base. Mike Gallego catching it off the wrong foot. But turning it, Stan Javier, a good stretch for an outfielder at first base. Good double play right there.
Here's Sil Campusano. And if Davis is going to keep his lead, he needs to get this man out right here. Throwing very hard. He's missed twice. It's 2-0. Storm Davis is in charge of the A's baseball chapel service they have every Sunday morning. Guest speaker to come in for about a 20-minute service, and the A's have one of the larger chapels in baseball. They had about 15, 16 guys in there today.
And more importantly, they do it even before the bus leaves the hotel. So
yeah,
that's saying that the players come out on their own to do it prior to everything going on here.
Fly ball out into shallow left. Weiss has his sunshades down. So does Lansford. Weiss runs him off and makes the grab in foul territory. 1 run scored on those 3 hits for Toronto, and the score is 2-1 Oakland. And we go now to the top half of the 3rd inning, and Mike Gallego, the A's second baseman, leads it off. Stottlemyre has struck out 4 batters in the first 2 innings. He didn't strike him out. That's literally knocking his cap off his head right there. I think Stottlemyre did it with his glove, but he reached up in a hurry to get that sizzling shot and didn't come up with it, and Gallego just continues to be a real factor in the success of this ball club.
Well, he's getting a chance to play. This is 14 out of 70, actually 15 out of 18 ball games that he has been playing in now. And of course, as he was telling me on a post-game show this past week, one thing it does is make him a little bit stiff and sore for playing so much, but he is enjoying it, doing an excellent job all over the infield, and there's a good example of what happens to a player gets a chance to play every day. He starts hitting the ball, and Mike has done that too.
And here's Louis Polonia, called up from the minor leagues not long ago. He's hit over 300 cents. Blue Jays looking for a bunt right here. But he's swinging. Fouled it off. They got the third baseman Gruber playing in their shallow, and little Louis took a shot at him with that one.
Well, this is an opportunity for Louis Polonia to hit his best way, and that's to hit the ball to the opposite field. As hard as Stottlemyre is throwing, big hole between first and second, but it's going to be tough for Louis to pull the ball right there.
Gallego with a good lead at first and driven back in.
Especially if you figure that the way they're positioning him on the infield, they're going to be pitching him away with that hard 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It is going to be tough to pull, but I know Louis has been opening up a lot until he gets 2 strikes and then going with his off-field stroke after that.
Well, Witt really was moving outside to present the target right then, and he moved out very early before they made that throw back to first base. I don't know if that's indicative of the way they're going to pitch him right here or not. He obviously thinks some kind of a play is on.
The Blue Jays have pitched down a couple of times in this series, and a lot of times the catcher will cheat a little by moving on the outside part of the plate for the pitch out. Of course, that's where a good base runner, a third base coach, manager will be able to detect that when they do throw. It's like a bunter giving away that bunt when the pitcher throws to first base. A catcher can tip off the hit and run.
Got the curveball that's up high. Before the game today, Polonia was out on the field very early. He knows some of the Toronto players and did not have his uniform shirt on, the game shirt. And he was playing catch. It looked like one of the bad boys. Hey, fact is, there's a bad boy bigger than he is. Bad boy for the A's today is Don Baylor's son. He's almost as big as Louis, if not bigger. There he is right there. Thank you, Wally. Donnie Jr. Polonia hit that one in the air towards the stands, and it may drift off in there. It does just that. The A's have won 50 games already this year. And that's earlier by 20-something days than they had their 50th win last year. Well up into the late part of July before they won number 50. Louis hanging on in there.
Of course, it's just a few more games closer to the goal of 95 to 100 by manager Tony La Russa on the A's. That's what he talked about early in the season when the A's had the big winning streak. Of course, this was the trip in which the A's accomplished that 14-game winning streak, starting in Chicago, continuing through Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, and then back home.
Curveball, he ripped it to right center field. Boy, that little guy can hit. He just fouled off all those fastballs, and finally Stottlemyre said, well, I'm fooling. So he hung a curveball right up in his eyes, which is not very high, really.
Well, and you think about, we talked about the positioning of the infield. You're just pitching right into a hitter and being able to pull that ball, because Lewis was not going to be able to pull the fastball as he has fouled them off down the left field line. So the pitcher gives in, throws a breaking ball, and the hitter says, thank you. Even if it is in my eyes, I will hit it anyway.
Now, here's a guy who's not going to bunt, folks. With runners at first and second and nobody down in a 2-1 game. Like Dave Parker got a walk in the first inning. McGriff is going to get the guy at second, and that's all. Oh, that one ate him alive at first base. And I think it's a good play that he made any play at all, Ray.
I think he was lucky to be able to get in front. Well, he couldn't do anything about getting out of the way of it. That ball was smoked, and it froze him, and he just took it right in the midsection, knocked it down, and even with Louis Polonia, a fast base runner, took the chance. See Louis trying to break it up, doing a good job. Dave hit that ball hard.
Got there so fast the pitcher didn't have time to cover either. Well, here's Jose Canseco, who gave the A's their 2 runs right quick-like in the first inning, and here it is. In on him, and he just turned on it and ripped it over the left center field wall, his 21st dinger of the year. He had another big swing right there.
Very similar situation that Stottlemyre had in April against the A's. First 2 hitters for the A's, base hit and run first and third, nobody out. He got pop-ups from Canseco and Parker, and McGuire strikeout. And then a couple of innings later, the roof fell in for him. But I think Jose, seeing that fastball the first time, seeing another one. A little bit different situation now in June, actually July, rather than April, when it was a little bit cooler here at the time.
Canseco, 20 times this year, has had more than 1 run batted in a game. Gets that one down the line in right field. That's got a chance to drop in there. Just foul.
And Mosby didn't see it either.
Yeah, Mosby, I started saying, either he's got better eyesight than I have, or he didn't see it because that ball was close to the line.
He definitely didn't see it. That ball could have gone forever.
He didn't make a move for that ball in right field. Now Jose's got to just fight it off here, flip to right from this guy. That's maybe one reason he didn't see it. Jose spread out wide for 2 strikes and gets straightened up with a fastball right inside. 2-2 now the count. They may get 2. Well, I'm not even sure they got 1. They did not get the guy at second base. I started to say, I'm not even sure they got 1. They called him safe at second. And that's a safe call, 2 in a right one. Lee came across that bag before he ever caught it.
You see Jose getting out of the box late, that big swing. He gets late, but he starts to run hard. And Marty's right, as Gruber pulls him off the bag, he is not even close to it, not even in the neighborhood, as they would say at second base. He gets the play at first, but definitely was safe at second. Good call by the second base umpire, Mike Riley. As you can see, the second baseman come across after he had caught the ball. The lucky thing there is that Dave Parker didn't go so far out of the baseline.
That's right.
To get the infielder Manny Lee. because he could have been out when he was safe.
Well, that's as you say, it's a great call. It was not all that hard a one to make because he threw it at second base, and I started to say the out there, and I said, I'm not even sure he got that one, but that time, Riley, who was a good umpire.
And I think Jimmy Williams, when he sees the replay, he's going to know that that was a good call. It's your job to go out and argue, but especially when it costs your club a run.
He's up the runway to hit something. So Canseco gets another run batted in, and here's Ron Hassey with a runner at second base. And I got to tell you, their second baseman is playing in right field for Hassey. This is as deep a second base I've ever seen anybody play, including Dick Green, who made it famous playing out there. Look at that. That's like a roving outfielder in softball. Hassey fouls it away. I got to tell you, this is the kind of run right here that Ron Hassey has been so good at picking up for Oakland this year. At 2 out with a guy in scoring position, he has had so many hits like that. See the patch on his ear there, still wearing from those 9 stitches.
Big smoke, hot dogs.
Strike 2 on him.
The guy missed one a while ago over here and just got the foul ball. 2 foul balls by Ron Hassey, same area.
Well, Ron's going to start wearing he's got a batting flap on that right ear. He's going to start wearing one on the other ear to catch with. Put a flap on his ear to catch. Go turn his head. Her ball is low. 1-2. Held up because I waited to see if they asked for the appeal at third base. Fifth strikeout of the ball game, but the A's get a big run when the Blue Jays blow a double play, and it's 3-1 Oakland.
3 games underway in the American League at Detroit. The red-hot Detroit Tigers are losing to the California Angels by a score of 6-1 in that ball game. McCaskill on the mound for California. Morris starting. Eric King now in the 3rd inning. Seattle is trailing Cleveland 4-2. That ball game in the 4th inning. Bankhead against Buddy Black. And New York and Chicago just underway in the 1st inning, the bottom of the 1st. New York did not score. It's Rick Rhoden against Long in that ball game.
And it's Ernie Witt who had one of the 3 hits for Toronto with a 2nd inning. Storm Davis misses low to him, and he's gone now to a 2-0 count. Witt, Mosby, and Campusano here in the 5th inning for the Blue Jays. Line shot to Javier. He's got it or it's got him, one of the 2. He just kind of started leaning. He didn't have time to move his feet.
A little bit different there, Stan, when you're only about 90 to 100 feet away instead of maybe 300 feet away in the outfield.
He had big black glove. He broke it in for Mark on that one, didn't he?
Well, there's a 2-0, and there's a guy that likes to pull the ball. When he gets the fastball, he almost fell down trying to hit it. Stan had enough time to catch it and still regroup before it hit the ground. Good job.
Here's Lloyd Mosby. Get into a double play in the 2nd inning. Low for a ball. Lloyd's gotten pretty heavily into golf during the winter now. He comes to our golf tournament, our Golf-O-Rama, and he was talking with Rance Mulliniks and me before the game today about it. This ball is slammed out into left field. It's going to hit the corner for a fair ball. Polonia digging it out. It's going to be a double.
Lloyd Mosby heard something going around first base because he just came up limping.
Grabbed the back of his leg.
That's going to affect his golf game, too. He's going to be wanting more strokes. Oh, that hurts. Hurts just watching it.
I tell you what, it is amazing to me the more I'm around this game. You know, here are guys who are well into the season. They've had spring training. They have strength exercises. They do all these things to get in shape, and they got to run from 1st to 2nd, which is 180 feet, and they pull a muscle.
Well, I think it's just the muscular bodies they have now, too. They're built up, and I think it's easier to hurt the muscles when they're that big.
Like Mickey Mantle blew out a hamstring running out a ground ball bunt against the A's many years ago up in New York, and they wrote up in the paper the next day that the Yankees Dr. Gaynor, I believe his name was, said Mantle just had a Cadillac motor and a Chevrolet body. And he said he just blew it out. And it looks like Lloyd did the same thing right there. He'll probably stay in. He was telling me that Claudell Washington has taken up the game of golf very seriously now and has challenged him to a $1,000 match. Which should tip money of these guys, I guess. He said neither one of us play well enough to pay $1,000 to beat the other one. Had the father-son game out here before this game today, and Moby got a couple of little guys. They were in Toronto uniforms. Well, looks like they're going to take him out, Ray.
We have to clarify one thing. It's family day. Father, son, daughter,
They have daughters playing.
Mother, yeah, get them all out there. Rick Leach is going to go in to run for him. We'll go into right field, I'm sure. Ball game, but yet best to get him out in most cases and get some medical treatment.
Well, they've hit two balls hard here in this inning off Storm Davis. One caught, the other one not. And here's Sil Campusano. Takes a slider for a call strike right on the knees. Hassey blocked that one. Go tell that scorer to give him a plus, Ray.
Taking the words right out of my mouth.
He was official, well, an official thing, an official score. Blocked balls by catcher. Popped him out. Ass may have room for a play here. That's tough to get close to that screen right there with all kinds of things around there.
Well, unfortunately, Ron didn't see it off the bat, looked right up into the sun, and it's one of those that try to go up the screen. Just came up short. Ideally, you like to be able to get to where the ball's coming down and be able to make some adjustments there, but when you don't see it off the bat, or you lose it in the sun, and then you have to pick it up, have a long way to go to try to get to it.
3-1 Oakland in the 5th inning. He got him. Now that umpire, Mark Johnson, just sort of put it in his face, didn't he? Stepped towards the batter and pumped him out. Watch this move by the umpire.
Yeah, good curveball by Storm Davis right there. And that's a sign of a good pitcher.
Punch him out, ump. Yes, sir.
Cavazano was moving away from him. Otherwise, he's going to be knocked out.
That's first strikeout. Manny Lee ran up on that one. That was a good curveball. Lee after Storm Davis's fastball. Strike two. Good crowd here today. Kind of a crazy ballpark. We'll show it to you when we get a little time. It got football stadium bleachers that run about a mile past the outfield fence. It's outside for a ball. There it is. See where the right field fence? That's where the football stadium keeps on going, or the field keeps on going beyond that.
Call the balk.
Well, so the pitch in the dirt blocked by Hassey won't count anything anyway. Oh, he balked him to third with 2 down.
Oh, we talked before, Storm has been a little bit questionable.
Ooh, that was questionable. It's questionable that it was a balk.
The thing is, he's been doing it consistently all day. It's not like it's any different.
I'm telling you, that thing could have gone to the backstop. Missed outside, and it goes to 2-2 now.
Curveball bounced that far on the plate. You might be thinking, well, he won't come back and throw another one with that runner and score at third base.
And he threw a fastball right in the wheelhouse, and Manny Lee fouled it off. So telling me before the game what a great job Hassey has done catching Todd Burns. Oh, there's that curveball, and he had Manny Lee fooled totally and just missed with it. There's a left-handed batter flinching from a right-handed pitcher's curveball. Watch him.
came back and threw it. It just hung up a little too high. Had a good bite on it, good break, but not quick enough.
Right up the middle she goes. Base hit. And a run scores. Makes it 3-2. Boy, you see what a close game this can be. He just missed with the strike 3 when he had a batter totally fooled, and he came back and with the count 3-2 had to throw a little fatter pitch.
Tony Fernandez.
So with Manny Lee at first, 2 down, here's Tony Fernandez. Storm struts him off with a strike. Gets another one. Two good fastballs where you want them. I mean, those were right down on the knees. You might not want the next one there.
Tony Fernandez has the hitting style of Rod Carew, who just kind of risks everything.
Storm turned that one over, luring away.
A hitter like that, he gets 2 strikes, and he's just using his wrist just to kind of flick. He doesn't do a lot of movement with the body. He just throws the bat at the ball. Rod had power as well as be able to spray the ball over the field.
Golfed that one in the air to right field. Canseco has it spotted in the sun and puts it away. The Blue Jays add a run on 2 hits and leave a man, and after 5 it's 3-2 Oakland.
Three games underway in the National League after playing 15 innings last night. Atlanta, Montreal back again 7-0. The Montreal Expos leading Atlanta. That's in the 4th inning. Houston behind the New York Mets at Shea Stadium 2-0. That in the 5th inning. And Cincinnati 3-2 over Philadelphia. That ball game in the 5th inning. Jackson against Gross. Have a change. Rick Leach goes into right field. He stays in the ball game. Goes to right field for Lloyd Mosby. Right?
Jose Canseco has driven in all 3 Oakland runs today. At the plate. Well, you can hear the crowd here pretty good. Breaking ball. Listen to that guy, would you? You don't have to hear him. You don't have to listen. 2-1 count on Jose from Todd Stottlemyre. All 3. 3rd, 4th, and 5th hitters for the A's here in the 6th inning. Ball's hit deep to center field. And it's got a chance, and there she goes.
And Jose knew it too. He stood and watched that one.
Stood at home plate. Number 22 for number 33. This big guy is having that MVP kind of year.
It's not too many guys you will see who will stand at home plate and watch a ball that's been hit to center field.
No.
To left field, right field, yes. But not center field. He knew it was gone, and there was no doubt about it.
He's not having a bad day. That's 4 runs batted in, and the A's lead 4-2. Here it is again.
Well, he
off the end of the bat.
And he got to extend his arms the first time. It kind of tied him up a little. Extend them. Oh, yes. Yeah, I look at this one, too.
Ron Hassey cracks one foul off the left side.
And a note from the publicity department. That is take a look at Jose Canseco. 22nd home run, 2nd for him today. First time all year that any player has had a multiple home run day. First time that any player has had multiple this season.
Is that right?
That's just what they
As
said.
many home runs as Canseco and McGuire, those guys have hit. They've never hit more than 1 in a game, huh?
That's just what we heard.
He may not be through yet today. This is only the 6th inning. Ron Hassey with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike.
Mike Greenwell leads the American League with 63 RBIs. Jose was behind Kirby Puckett at 58-62, and he ties him.
And Ron Hassey rips one out into right field. Stottlemyre might be losing a little velocity right now. You'd only know by reading the gun, but whatever the gun says, they're sending Galen Cisco out. Cisco's one of 2 pitching coaches they have right now in uniform today. Cisco's been substituting for Al Whitmire, who's been sick. As a matter of fact, well, not sick, he had back surgery. And Cisco, who was a longtime pitching coach for Kansas City, has been substituting for him, but Whitmire came back today and is in uniform.
Wayne Ward throwing down in the Blue Jays bullpen, the right-hander. Going to use it middle long relief.
I tell you, it's been fun watching the press guys following the Oakland A's, Ray, trying to guess who that starting pitcher for the A's will be Wednesday, because Tony La Russa set that up sometime back by saying it's going to be a mystery pitcher. And I heard Kit Steer of the Oakland Tribune grilling Tony today before the game, and he said, I'm going to give you some names. Tony said, you guess all you want. He said, guess wrong if you want, I don't care. And he started naming off names. And he came up with Rich Bordy, and he came up with everybody but Ontiveros. He did not come up with Steve Ontiveros, and it turned out to be one of the starters. One of the possibilities. There's one of the new pitchers the A's have since I got on the road.
Well, Mike Paul came down to the bullpen coach, and went running back Jim Corsi up. Now, I don't know if that means something's happened to Storm Davis, because Jim Corsi would not be throwing as hard as he is right now just to be getting some work in.
Now Dave Henderson's up with nobody out, runner at first base. Stottlemyre staying in there. Hit his bat accidentally, fouled off. But Tony kind of gets a little thrill out of gamesmanship with the press, I've noticed. And they've got to get up early and stay late to beat him, I'll tell you that.
I don't know of any manager besides maybe Sparky Anderson who handles the press as well as Tony La Russa.
Well, he definitely has there's a little gap between him and them that he likes to keep for respectability, and they definitely respect it. The beat writers for the A's are good. Strike call to Henderson. Good fastball on the knees inside. 2-2. And that bit popper is high for ball 3. The A's lead at 4-2, or I should say Canseco leads at 4-2. He's driven in all 4 runs today. Hindu had a big cut. That was kind of a breaking ball right there.
Oh, and he knew the curveball was coming. Had a big swing, and a little upset that he missed it.
Flipped that bat up in the air and caught it. That's a fun guy right there you're looking at. Think of the big hits he's had. The extra inning game against the Yankees on national TV. Extra inning hit he had the other night to win a 14-inning game. That's ball 4. Stottlemyre is having trouble here in the 6th. That's his 2nd walk only in the game, and that's going to be the last one, because manager Jimmy Williams has come out and he's calling for help from the bullpen. Well, Ray, this is I know Stottlemyre is disappointed. He's not pitched that badly, but he's behind 4-2 here, and he's reluctantly going to give that ball to the new guy coming in. In fact, he flips it to him. So there's a look at the score. The A's have had 7 hits and 4 runs, and the Blue Jays 5 hits and 2 runs. And while the new pitcher warms up, we'll step out for a few seconds. New pitcher, look at those stats, would you? He's undefeated.
Well, he got a good number. It's 5-0. He has 5 saves, making his 34th appearance, all in relief for the Toronto Blue Jays. Got a good live arm, good fastball, the curveball slider. Talking to him yesterday, this is interesting, Monty, during the Equitable Old Timers game played here in Toronto. Wilbur Wood, left-handed knuckleball pitcher, Chicago White Sox. Wayne Ward was watching him, just admiring still now Wilbur Wood throwing a very good knuckleball. And he said, I've been working on the split finger. He says, the problem with mine, it kind of goes the same way as a knuckleball. It doesn't move. He says, where a lot of the guys throw the split finger, the fork ball, and it will break down. It has the rotation breaking down. But he's working on it and been very successful, as the numbers indicate.
Here's Carney Lansford, runners 1st and 2nd. They're looking for the bunt here from Carney. And it's not a bunt exactly. Welcome, Ward. This throw to the plate holds the runner at 3rd, which they would have done anyway. throw from Campusano was not really all that good a throw. They were not going to run from second base Hasse anyway. But this is a comebacker of sorts. Look at that.
Oh, and he tried to catch it barehanded, too.
Man, ask Bob Welch about
First
it.
baseman number 28,
That.
Stan Javier.
I didn't think there was any chance that Jim Lefebvre was going to send Ron Hasse with nobody out. But there's a pitch right there by Ward that had Carney Lansford been bunting. It was up. It had been a tough pitch to bunt. But Tony La Russa, having the lead, decided to go with the hit, and he did.
Javier. Well, that went off. We saw a lot of those line drives like that early in the season when Carney was hot. Matter of fact, everything he hit looked something like that. Now, we were saying then, nobody could stay as hot as he was. Nobody down. The A's is with a chance to break this one wide open. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And with Stan Javier able to get down the line very quickly, the infield playing halfway. Of course, on artificial surface, don't have to play all the way in because the ball is going to get to you quickly anyway. So they'll take the chance, probably take the double play if they feel they can turn it. Otherwise, they'll try to get the lead runner home.
There's 1. There's 2. They got a double play. Not much Hasse could do about that one. There was just a line drive that went by him before he could react. Boy, that's a big, big play right there.
Well, this is the 3rd time in this series that a runner for the A's has been doubled off on the line drive. Ron trying to get a good jump down the third base line in the event the ball is hit on the ground. And the ball hit very hard and tailor-made for Gruber to be able to take the line drive and get the double play at third. The other 2 had been at first base. Line drives the first baseman and double off there.
Here's Walt Weiss now. Up high for ball 1. Boy, that can really turn an inning and even maybe a game around right there. I believe the A's are going to have a new pitcher in the next inning. Weiss fouls it back. Big, big time right here to get a base hit. Got a bases loaded, no out situation, and figure you're going to get something. We are going to get a new pitcher. Curveball strike to Walt Weiss. Walt's been called out on strike twice in this game. Kansas City and Minnesota both won yesterday. In the dirt, a nice block by Witt. Ball bounces, went out over the mound, out over second into center field, and there's that big, big hit we were talking about. They got to hurry. Safe at third, and what we were saying, they got to hurry, as Henderson was not going to score before they got Lansford at third if they got him. That was going to be close. That home plate umpire had squared away to look, and he is telling Henderson, as they ask him, that he would not have been safe.
And here's the actually hard dirt in front of the home plate and then picked up speed on the artificial surface. Walter Weiss, a big base hit. There you see Dave Henderson assuming he was going to score. I don't think he was running as hard as he could, and he realized it after he had crossed home plate. But good throw by Campusano to third base. Carney Lansford hustling. And actually, he was trying to draw the throw. That ball not hit that far as Campusano playing shallow in center field. But figured there might be a play at the plate. He was trying to try to draw the throw to third base. He's very fortunate on that play.
Here's Mike Gallego. Boy, a big hit for Walt Weiss. He's had a few of those this year, I tell you. Yeah, that's a play I've seen a lot of times over the years where a runner Figures I got it made. He starts coasting towards home, and all of a sudden they nail somebody at second or third before you step on that plate for the third out is made, and it doesn't count. Gallego takes it. And I saw the umpire, Johnson, shaking his head negatively to Henderson as he went back into the dugout, and I think he might have been telling him you weren't there. Good strike. 3 balls and 1 strike on Gallego. Strikes. 3-2 now. Weiss will take off from first.
Ernie Whitt stepping out in front of home plate, telling the infielders you got to go to first because Walt Weiss with 3-2 is going to be off on the run. Go ahead and make the sure out at first base if the ball is hit on the ground.
Here's a drive to right center field, a base hit. Weiss is on his way to third now. Lansford scores, and the A's have hit 3 safeties off the new pitcher Ward after Stottlemyre left.
And that's coming, actually, 3 of those coming, 2 of them coming. Here's, take a look at Mike Gallego. A fastball might have even been ball 4 up, but he figured the fastball was coming after the tough 3-1 pitch inside. Big hit, Mike Gallego. But you're talking about the hits. 2 of those have come after that line drive to third base and get into double play. So 2 hits coming with 2 outs to score 2 runs for the A's.
And it's just incredible, Ray. 1 week ago, you and I were crying in Oakland. Through a doubleheader, we didn't see a run.
Not that far. Now, wait a minute now. Wally was crying.
Wally was crying in the truck. All of us of the A's didn't score a run in a doubleheader. All of a sudden, it just turned around, and that's what's so great about baseball. There are 161 tomorrows after opening day. I mean, it changes every day, and sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, depending on who's throwing in from out there on the mound. So Stottlemyre's charged with 5 runs through his 5 innings of work. And here's Louis Polonia. Ball 1. That's a strike. You almost have to roll it up there to be too low to this little guy. And we had another game on television. Charlie Leibrandt of Kansas City shut out the A's. Leibrandt and Lee and Viola. Louis fouls it away.
How about Al Leiter and Neil Allen?
They did it too, didn't they?
Or mostly Neil Allen anyway, but that's a different story. That's past.
The other guy was a big left-hander, Candelaria. Now Polonius Allen strikes, but the A's sent 8 men to the plate in the inning and scored 3 more times. And the score now is 6-2, Oakland. Here's a new pitcher, Ray, and he's new since I came.
Yes, Jim Corsi came up, pitched in his first ball game against the Milwaukee Brewers, a game in which Storm Davis pitched 8 strong innings. Jim came in the last inning, had an interesting outing. He gave up a double, the first hitter. He balked him to third. He walked the hitter intentionally, then went on to get 2 outs. So he ended up not giving up a run in that inning. His first start, did a very good job. Sinker slider pitcher.
There's the first pitch, and it bounced by Rance Smolinix right through no man's land into center field for a base hit. I was asking Tony La Russa before the ball game about Corsi, and he said, well, you would best relate to the fact that I compare him to Bob Locker, who threw a hard, heavy sinker. He said, that's what this guy throws.
The left fielder, number 11, George Bell.
As we talk, Rick Honeycutt throwing now in the Oakland bullpen.
Yeah, he started, as a matter of fact, when Corsi came to the mound, which would indicate that they may not expect this guy to go too long. He'd been a short reliever down in Tacoma, I understand.
Well, you have 2 right-handers in George Bell and Kelly Gruber. Then you get to the left-handed hitters, McGriff, Witt, and Leach.
Yeah, there's the slider, strike 1. Got kind of a unique little leg kick there. I asked Todd Burns about Corsi because they had been teammates, and he said, I'll tell you, he has been a tough reliever for us in Tacoma. Slider again. 1 ball, 1 strike on George Bell, who twice has grounded to short in this game.
Listen carefully. George Bell is having a little conversation with home plate umpire Mark Johnson. You might hear a few words.
Slider again, and he had him out on the front foot going for that one.
Cito Gaston, the hitting coach for the Toronto Blue Jays, saying that one thing George Bell, after hitting 40 some odd home runs last year, having a big MVP year, that he has not made a lot of changes in his style of hitting. The pitchers and catchers are calling different ball games, but he has not adapted and made too many changes. As a result, he only has 10 home runs compared to many, many more last year, especially at this time. Only 2 has he hit at Exhibition Stadium this year, one of them coming yesterday.
He's the only Blue Jays player ever voted by the fans into the All-Star game. Of course, he's worked the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bell did have a big year last year. He was acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies from a AAA roster in 1980 by Toronto. They drafted him much the same way the A's got Doug Jennings. Slider is high. Of course, he's gone to 3-2 on Bell. Storm Davis through 5 innings did not walk a batter, which definitely was a plus for him because he gave up 5 hits. There's a slider hit deep to left. It's got a chance to go. It's gone. And the Blue Jays are back in business. Now do those 2-out hits by Weiss and Gallego look big or not? George Bell brings the people in Toronto to their feet.
Just talking about making some changes. He made a change because he saw nothing but breaking balls, and I think he got another one. And while he has this swing, you can see a guy that's fooling the ball over his head. Not over his head, but up in his eyes anyway. And George Bell gave the Carlton Fisk shot of 1975, trying to help that ball stay fair. That's what you call a tomahawk shot right there. George trying to help keep that ball fair. He knew it was gone, just a matter of being fair or foul.
Nobody out. Now here's Kelly Gruber. He takes inside, ball 1. Well, he didn't get the ball down at all in that series to Bell. Even the breaking balls were up in there pretty good. Pitch it inside. He's behind another tough hitter, 2-0. Well, Mullenix didn't take any time to look at his pitches. He hit the first pitch that, of course, he threw into center field. A hot shot to Carney Lanford. He picks it up on a short hop and throws to first, and there's 1 away.
And as a left-handed hitter, McGriff comes up to the plate. Tony La Russa taking a walk to the mound, and that might be all for Jim Corsi.
Well, they picked up 2 quick ones, and we still don't have any word on why Storm Davis left the ball game. He pitched 5 innings, and as a matter of fact, Storm's last inning gave up a couple of hits. And there's the move being made. They are going to bring in Rick Honeycutt. So they're into the bullpen a little earlier than Tony had hoped to be today, I'm sure. With that doubleheader coming up against the Cleveland Indians on Tuesday. Tomorrow it's going to be a 10:30 telecast from Cleveland. Bob Welch, a 10-game winner for the A's, against Tom Candiotti, a 7-game winner for Cleveland. And we're going to be right back, giving Rick Honeycutt time to warm up.
Derby for the home run by George.
Well, from the rookie to the veteran now, out of the bullpen for the Oakland A's, here's left-hander Rick Honeycutt, who's been out there a lot of times. There are his stats for this year, right?
Well, making his 29th appearance, was in the ball game on Friday, in the game in which the A's behind Dave Stewart won, and Rick Honeycutt came in, got 2 hitters out, and then Dennis Eckersley came in for the save. Interesting, in the last 14 ball games, Rick Honeycutt has worked in 7 of those ball games. Of course, going back to the series at the Oakland Coliseum against the Minnesota Twins, Milwaukee Brewers, in those ball games, a lot of the bullpen got a lot of work. Everybody got a lot of work. But Rick Honeycutt, especially against this ball club and especially against Fred McGriff, had good success. as he has also against Lloyd Mosby, the left-hander facing the left-handed hitter McGriff. You'll probably see him, as he has done against Rick Honeycutt, opening up quite a bit. As a result, Rick had been throwing him a lot of breaking balls, fastballs in the outside part of the plate.
Well, we've got a ball game here in Toronto. It's one day after Dominion Day in this country. No, I guess it's 2 days after that. And one day before Independence Day back in America. Well, you've got a good one going for you. It'll be a day game again tomorrow, and then a day game on television next Sunday, also from Detroit. So mark 10:30 down on your calendar tomorrow and Sunday. We'll be there. Fred McGriff hammering it to first pitch and fouling it off. Strike one.
You have to figure when a left-handed hitter is facing a left-handed pitcher, he has already set his sights on opening. His stance is open. When the pitch comes, he opens up more. You kind of wonder if anybody ever think about throwing a fastball inside.
Curve misses low. Hard slider outside. Again outside, and 3-1 on this left-handed batter. He doesn't want to lose him.
But on the other hand, if you're a hitter and been opening up and staying away from him, you can look out there and have a little bit better eye and take pitches as he has done so far.
Well, he unleashed a mighty rip at that one and missed it. It's 3-2. A's second baseman Mike Gallego is really playing this left-handed hitter to pull even against Honeycutt. And as a matter of fact, so is Walt Weiss. Curveball, he pulled it right to where he's standing. Gallego didn't have to move other than to come in, and a good comeback for Rick Honeycutt. And there's a veteran for you. 3-2, throws him a good curveball.
Yes, he does. He has enough confidence in his curveball, his slider, that instead of giving in the fastball, figuring that's the pitch he's looking for, he throws it, breaks his bat, gets the ground ball out.
Todd Burns was telling me before the game, Ray, that he said big difference in pitching now. He said he's learned it, is that you got to be able to throw the breaking ball on 2-0 and 3-1 and 3-2. He said when they're not looking for it.
Well, he had to with Ron Hassey catching him in his last start, 10 innings.
Honeycutt to Witt misses.
He threw 100, and I think it was 136 pitches. He threw 87 breaking balls.
Oh my goodness.
It's after Dale Swayman hit an 0-2 fastball. Ron Hassey said, well, no more fastballs.
Bouncing ball right side again. Honeycutt in to get the left-handed batters out of there. And we have played 6 innings here in Toronto. The score 6-4 Oakland.
Updating the scores in the American League, California still leading at Detroit. Now the score is 8-2. That ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. McCaskill still on the mound for Detroit. Trujillo has now come on for the Detroit Tigers. Did I say McCaskill for California? That's what I meant. Seattle 5-4 over Cleveland. They're in the 7th inning there. Bankhead on the mound for Seattle. Black started. Perlman now on for Cleveland.
And it's a home half of the 7th inning. Got Barfield pinch hitting for Leach.
For the right fielder, Rick Leach, number 29.
One other game, there's no score, but Minnesota at Milwaukee, they're in the 4th inning. That is scoreless. That's Blyleven against Wegner.
Barfield, one of the favorites here in Toronto. Hitting just .216 this year, but he got 6 homers, 25 runs batted in. Strike call. Barfield has got one of the best arms in baseball. We were asking Jimmy Lefebvre this morning about sending a guy yesterday on a line drive hit on one hop to right field, and this guy picking it up. And he said, well, before the play started, I saw where he was, and he had to run to his left to get any ball. That's what he did. He ran to his left. He sent a runner, and we scored. Honeycutt gets a strike on him. It's 0-2.
And that's Jimmy Lefebvre. He's always aware of everything that's going on. Knowing where they're positioning, he tested Dave Winfield's arm, won a ball game.
Thing is, you test those guys, they look up, they're a little surprised. This man has led the league in assists for so many years. think he had 20 outfield assists last year, and they don't expect to be run on. Honeycutt missed it inside and low, probably right close to where he wanted it. It's Storm Davis's game. He pitched 5 innings. Corsi in a third of an inning got socked for a couple of runs on the homer by Bell. Taking a shot at the outside. He missed with it. 2-2. Mosby started, pulled up lame after hitting a double in the 5th inning. Now Rick's gone to 3-2. Batting average on 3 and 2 pitches is about 150 points higher than on about any other count in baseball. Ball's hit down the line in right field. Canseco will not get there. And it's a home run off the foul pole. Barfield hit a home run off the foul pole, and that makes it 6-5. That 3-2 count again. Remember, he had him down at no balls and 2 strikes. A pinch hit homer for Barfield.
Right. I tell you, I can't believe this ball went out. I kept waiting for it to go in the stands foul because it was pushing that way. Jose playing in right center. As you can see right there, hitting off the top of the pole, or about midway through anyway.
Here's Sil Campusano, and the Blue Jays, who were down by 4 runs, are coming back. Boy, that count is so important in baseball. 2 quick strikes on a big hitter like that, and you start trying to get him to chase a bad one, and they just don't do that often. There's another one. Look at this play by Walt Weiss. He got it. Man alive, what a play, folks. You've just seen a big league shortstop dive to his right and still throw somebody out. You don't see it often.
On artificial surface, too. That ball, and Campusano can run. I think he hesitated just a second, thinking he might have a hit. But watch him get up quick and then make the gun, the throw, and make a great play. That was an outstanding play. And I know Tony Kubek in the booth next to us has to be really admiring that play, because Tony, a good shortstop himself. It's one of the best plays you see by shortstop right there.
What a play, and what a time to have it. Then would have put the tying runners on with nobody down. Well, the kid just continues to make the plays, and you don't see many shortstops diving to their right. Here's Manny Lee. Takes outside, ball 1. One thing to get that ball, but to get up and throw out a fast runner, it takes a big leaguer to do that. Ball 2.
Yesterday, Manny Lee facing Kurt Young, hitting from the right side, walked the first 2 times up. He walked on a 3-1 count and 4 pitches off of Kurt, and the first 2 pitches of Rick Honeycutt, same as yesterday, everything leaving outside. But the good news, he had 2 double play ground balls his last 2 times up, which got the A's out of some big innings.
That's going to be a tough hop right there for Walt Weiss. He guns another one over there for the 2nd out. This surface, you can't charge on ground ball. He would have charged it on regular surface.
Here's another fast guy in Manny Lee, and the ball's going to take a big hop at the last second right there, but Walt Weiss, the strong throwing. We've left out Stan Javier, and that play that Walt Weiss made took a good stretch by Stan Javier, an inexperienced first baseman. To make that stretch, you always want to get as much help as you can when a player, infielder, dives for a ball, as Walt Weiss did.
Here's Tony Fernandez. Here's a base hit to right field. He just slapped that one out there. Standing flat-footed, he just swung and hit it into right. Now they're going to call Rance Mullenix back. He is strictly on a platoon basis.
Sees the fielder coming up, and you see a fastball, and there's the wrist by Tony Fernandez, as we talked about, just flicking his wrist, and he got the base hit to right field.
So Mullenix ends his work today with 1 hit and 3 at-bats, and he scored a run in the 6th inning. We were talking to Stan Javier before the game about, he said, what's first base? If you play center field, you catch a ball. You play right field, you catch the ball. You play shortstop, you catch the ball. He said, I catch a ball at first base today.
And he has.
He said, you just go out there and catch the ball. When you don't catch it, you go to the minor leagues.
It's a fielder yesterday hitting a home run here.
Big enough to hit him, isn't it?
Yes.
Look at those arms on that guy.
Got the rest of the body to go with it, too. Big guy.
There's nobody in the bullpen for Oakland. It's the 7th inning in a 6-5 ball game. Rick Honeycutt was given the ball in the 6th inning and has hit all ground balls but one. It was a homer off the foul pole. Good slider for a strike on Fielder.
Well, it looks as if Tony La Russa is thinking that I'm not going to go to Dennis Eckersley until the 9th inning. And it's only one time this year I think that he has gone with Eck in the 8th inning. That was when the A's were going through a little period of time when they had a losing streak of 4 or 5 ball games.
Just a little low. Well, with 8 games coming up there in a 7-day period, you can't very well go to your short reliever too often, for too long anyway. Because there's possibility a guy like that could be used twice for short work on the same day if he's fresh. So Tony's done a good job of keeping Eck fresh all year long. So you think beyond 1 day in this game. Foul back. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down, 7th inning. Monty Moore with Ray Fosse on the A's television network in Toronto, Canada. Man, what a pitching job by Rick Honeycutt to get the pinch hitter. So Honeycutt gets his first strikeout of the game. 1 run scores in the 7th inning. It's still 6-5 Oakland. Storm Davis was taken out after 5 innings. We still not had a report as to why he left. But the new man, Corsi, came in and gave up a single and a homer. A homer by Bell on a 3-2 count. Rick Honeycutt misses outside, ball 1. Rick has gotten everybody out except pinch hitter Barfield, who hit a home run off the foul pole in right. I think it's fooled everybody in the ballpark. Strike, it's in there. Bell had one of those terrific years last year. The Sporting News Major League Player of the Year, Sporting News All-Star Team, USA Today's All-Star Team, Player of the Year by just about every publication. Drove in 134 runs, hit 47 homers, and batted over 300. Honeycutt missed high with a slider inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The year before, Bell had hit 31 homers, drove in 108 runs. The year before that, 28 homers, 95 runs batted in. The year before that, 26 homers, 87 runs batted in. So no big surprise when he does hit one out on anybody, let alone a Corsi. Leaning a little bit on that one, and the count runs out to 3-1. So Honeycutt's going to have to make a tough pitch here. Incidentally, the A's bullpen, in case you're wondering, is active. It's active Eckersley. Got the 2 right-handers to start this inning, and then they've got the left-handers coming up after that. Crowd here today, 32,329. There's the Eck.
He's throwing hard, and I think he's ready if you want to use him.
Oh, what a pitch. 3-2. Threw him a slider on a 3-2 count and wrapped it right around his fist.
It's very similar to what's been happening to Mark McGwire. He's had a lot of breaking balls when he's ahead in the count. Pitcher's just not giving in to an MVP player, to a hitter who hits 49 home runs. Hey,
now they're asking for the ball.
Hey, George Bell's thinking that Rick Honeycutt's doing something with the baseball. Because that ball, just 3-1 pitch, was a strike. See Bell looking out at him. keeping his eyes on Rick Honeycutt. And
Well, Hassey's spent 30 seconds wiping it off on his pant legs over there anything in it. That umpire's already told him he's going to throw it out.
Rick might get the chainsaw out. Just go for it.
Well, if there were anything on it, Hassey made doggone sure they weren't going to find it. He went to the backstop. That's popped up. And if they can find it in the sunshine, one of the good guys ought to get it. That's Canseco calling. And he runs the midget off and makes the catch.
Good job of Jose Canseco. That ball up, and Mike Gallego was there, but he was backpedaling. But the ball's still moving on.
Canseco's still limping, Ray. You can see him favoring his right leg, running around.
This turf has to be affected him. He is he DH'd one game, but yet he's been out there and just running on this hard surface with the knee problems that he's had. Has to definitely be affected.
Well, he's had the answer today to not have to run very far. He just hits it and walks. Kelly Gruber. Honeycutt misses inside and low, ball one. Gruber got the first run for the Blue Jays in the second inning. He got a single, went to second on a pass ball, scored on Fred McGriff's single. Honeycutt runs a fastball out away from him, and Rick has really been sharp here. Base hit for Gruber with one out. That puts the tying runner on and brings up the left-handers now. Boy, baseball's a different game on this artificial surface. Been about 4 or 5 of those today.
Well, that's why it's ridiculous. If you're not a home run hitter, it's ridiculous to try to hit the ball in the air when you can use this turf. Ball just picks up speed here. Mike Gallego trying to make similar play that Walt Weiss did earlier. And as high as he got off the ground, as hard as he came down, that had to hurt him a little bit. He's checking his right hand right now.
Fred McGriff. He's 1 for 3 today. That ball's hit pretty well to left field, but not too far. Polonia is right there to make the catch. He is off the end of the bat.
Borders, the other catcher, the right-handed catcher, is on the bench yesterday. Ernie Witt came in middle part of the ball game when pitching change was made. Kurt Young left the game. Gene Nelson came in, but actually, if you think about it, have not checked the roster, but as many pinch hitters as manager Jimmy Williams has used, I would think the Borders is the last one on the bench to be able to be used.
Yeah, and I think he knows what you and I know too. As soon as Borders walked out and is announced, the number 43 is coming in for Oakland. Actually, he figures Witt's got a better chance against Honeycutt than Borders has against Eckersley. Well, he hit that one off the end of the bat as Honeycutt gave him a great sidearm curveball. Good pitching job by Rick Honeycutt again, and he has now completed 2 2/3 innings of work, allowing only 3 hits, and the A's still lead 6-5. Well, it's the top of the batting order in the top of the 9th for the Oakland A's. They lead by 1, and here's Polonia. And he slams one foul over into the seats.
Well, some good relief pitching today by both ball clubs. Here, Ward coming in and setting the A's down after scoring 3 in the 6th inning.
Maloney hits in the air down the line in left field and foul.
Of course, Rick Honeycutt doing an excellent job, especially the last inning, facing 2 tough right-handed hitters and George Bell and Gruber. I have to think that with the right-handed hitter Jesse Barfield leading off in the bottom half of the inning, Eckersley is not throwing now.
Polonia took a long look at that one. He went by and he sort of leaned in and looked at that one.
What's your manners, you bum?
Listen to that guy. That's an escapee from Brooklyn. He's up here on vacation from Brooklyn. That ball's hit to left field, but the little guy can't hit it out on that side. Farrell makes the catch, and there's 1 out here in the 9th. And that'll bring on Don Baylor.
And with 1 out, Dennis Eckersley is getting up, so it looks as if he will be coming in the bottom of the 9th.
6-5, Oakland leading. 2 home runs by Jose Canseco today. Side ball 1. The A's won Friday in a low-scoring 2-1 affair. Yesterday, 11-3. 2 balls and no strikes on Don Baylor, who came on as a pinch hitter for Dave Parker in the 5th inning. Parker jammed his thumb. Hope it's not too bad. Those things are hard to heal. Could use him at Tiger Stadium with that short right field porch. Baylor pops it up. Griff makes the catch, and there are 2 down in the 9th.
The right fielder, number 33.
Up comes the big leagues. Biggest bopper of them all so far, Canseco, with 21 homers. And 4 today. 20 before today, and 2 more today. 22 for the season now. He's driven in 4 runs today. High slider, ball 1. Dwayne Ward has pitched pretty well since that first inning. He came on in relief in the 6th. He gave up 3 hits in that inning. Ball 2. He's thrown in 2 sliders.
Not too long ago, Jose Canseco came out in the paper 40-40. Nothing wrong with that. I'll go for those numbers. He has 22 home runs, 22 stolen bases as of right now.
That one for a strike. It's 2-1.
Joe Carter, who we'll see in Cleveland tomorrow, said that the one thing that will prevent it will be his legs. Playing in the outfield, playing every day, he says the legs will be the first to go. Carter was a 30-30 last year.
Ball's hit down the line in right field. It's not going to have the same results at Barfield. This one kind of fouls off, tails off to the outside of the bullpen area.
Jose in this at bat has opened up his stance. He's open a lot more, and thinking maybe a little bit more difficult to pick up the ball off of Ward out of his delivery. So he's opening up and going into it.
You can hear him bounce that bat on home plate, just looking for any cracks. When the ball hits like that one, sort of off to the side, he can't believe he didn't break a bat. And I tell you, he uses the thinnest handled bat of anybody I think I've ever seen.
Now he's closed back up into his 2-strike stance.
Takes it low for ball 3. Oh my goodness, look at that. Gruber got almost dehorned. Well, it's 3 up, 3 down, and we go to the Holden Dennis Eckersley. Last half of the 9th inning at 6-5, Oakland. Well, we go to the last half of the 9th. The A's have made a couple of defensive switches. There's the principal one, of course. That's out on the mound, where Dennis Eckersley has 24 saves this year. Javier moves from first base to left field. And Mark McGuire comes off the bench and goes to play first base, giving us a little bigger target over there at first. Dennis Eckersley, who got number 24 here in that 2-1 game the other night. Did he have a tough time doing it?
No, he didn't. Friday afternoon, he only faced 4 batters. He walked 1. That's after, let's see, he faced McGriff in that inning, the only left-hander, after getting Fielder who pinched hit, Bell, and then he pitched around McGriff with the 1-run lead, got Kelly Gruber to fly out to right field. So he's well rested. I mean, only thrown in that ball game 18 pitches. He minimizes his pitching. I think that's the reason he's able to bounce back as much as he is. He limits how much he throws in the bullpen just to get loose, so when he comes in the ball game, he's got it all.
And he's not one of those pitchers who comes in and gets 2 strikes and then starts nibbling around, and first thing you know is 3 and 2. He just goes after you 3 strikes right now.
And you have to think Jesse Barfield hitting the foul pole in his last at bat, the home run off of Rick Honeycutt, a fastball away. Here's a pitcher who is throwing most of the pitches away to the right-handers. And Barfield might be trying to go that way again.
There it is. This guy comes out of the bullpen throwing super quality strikes on the first pitch almost every time he comes out of there. Now, that wasn't just a strike, people. That was something with something on it. Just missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. A's are playing deep. on the infield and the outfield.
Nelson Liriano out in the on-deck circle, probably the hit for Campusano.
Here's the sidearm slider, and he got it up and a little bit more in than he wanted. I'm sure Dennis didn't like that pitch.
Jesse Barfield's hands on his hip, thinking, yes, you're right. It was not that quality pitch, but just missed it. And of course, that's what Dennis Eckersley does to you, too. He throws your pitch, you know that he's going to be painting the black. And then when he does not make the one pitch, you get it and you miss it.
Now try to guess with this one, 1-2. Walt Weiss has got it. He got it out away from Barfield with enough on it that he couldn't pull the ball.
And Jesse had opened up to where all he had to just use his arms off the end of the bat. Watch Jesse open up on this with Eck dropping down. Whoops.
Batting for the center fielder.
See where the mid was? It was going to hit the mid perfectly if it didn't hit the bat. Here's Nelson Liriano.
It's funny watching that replay. You could see Jesse didn't open up that much with his feet, but the rest of his body opened up.
He sure did. And as he was sitting right outside on him, now the left-handed batter with 1 out. And there's a breaking ball strike to him. Slider again, strike 2. Tried to give up breaking ball that time, started off wide to bring it back out over the plate, but he didn't get it there. Bouncing ball to Walt Weiss, dirty hop, but he clean picks it. Throws to first, and so does Mark McGuire pick one out of the dirt. So the little defensive change there might have helped a little bit. The big guy just came off the bench and dug it out.
He does a good job over there, stretching as well as digging them out. And I tell you, it's tough when you get a tough hop like that at second base. At shortstop, that ball came up. You see, kind of ate him up a little, and so that throws off your timing when you make the throw to first base.
And McGuire dug it out there. You can see the puff of dirt come out of that. Now here's Manny Lee with 2 out of the 9th. And Eck starts him off with a bullet-like fastball. Tell you what, the fans are exiting this ballpark. Saw the seagull fly by. It's not vultures hovering over a dead arm. Strike 2. Man, is this guy a strike throwing machine?
And Eck is pumped right now. You can just see it. He's ready.
0-2. Let's see if he goes right after him. Moving outside with a give up. Fastball missed out there.
Oh, that one! Give another goober dribble.
A's 1 out away from their 8th consecutive win over Toronto this year. Tried to bring that breaking ball back in. He's now worked the count to 2-2. Not that he's pitched anything like waste pitches here, just wanted to make quality pitches. He wanted to get him on that fastball just close enough, and he didn't swing at it. Little looper to Carney Lansford. He pulled him off the bag. Into the A's dugout it goes, and a potential tying run goes to second base. Lansford pulled McGuire off the bag right into the runner. Wow, big break there for Toronto.
Okay, there are 2 balls. The last 2 balls hit on the infield. It's terrible. You see, all you're going to see is a throw here. You didn't see the ground ball, but the ball is sinking back in. Mark trying to catch the ball and make the tag at the same time, and by doing so, he hit the runner and pushed it into the dugout.
Well, now Eckersley really got to get pumped. He's got a left-handed slap hitter in Tony Fernandez, and a base hit here could tie the game.
That ball by Manny Lee off the end of the bat had that funny spin going to Carney Lansford, and as we mentioned, Walt Weiss just throws the timing off.
Comes in there with a good fastball strike. And Carney dropped down a little sidearm throwing that ball, and that made it tail away from Mark McGuire. Mark could have reached and caught it had not the runner been coming in there. 1 strike count on Lee. 2 out, last of the 9th. That's a ball. Well, Lansford has made very, very few errors this year. Little looper, fair Donnie Fernandez, we said, a little slap hitting type. Slapped one out over third. It was fair by less than a foot.
Well, we talked about the wrist. There it is. Fastball down, sinking away. He just slapped his wrist at it.
Wow, talk about tough luck for Eckersley. And the A's, now he's got to get Cecil Fielder in order to hope for extra innings. Fly ball to center field, hit deep, but Henderson should have it. We're going into extra innings. Well, a very unusual happenstance where the A's lose one on defense. We're going to go to the 10th. It's all tied at 6. There's a new pitcher.
Leading off
He hasn't won any games, but he saved 16, and Ray Fosse knows a lot about him.
Didn't win a ball game last year either, but yet he had a lot of saves. And the interesting thing now, bringing Tom Hickey and figuring that Jimmy Williams figuring that if he can get the A's out, then they have a chance in their bottom half of the inning to win. And that's how you use your stopper in an extra inning ball game, especially if you're the home team. But he can throw the heat, throws the fastball, he'll throw the fork ball as well, and he will occasionally drop down, which is even worse to right-handed hitters.
Well, he's got 3 big ones here in this inning. Baylor, Canseco, and Steinbach, and the count on Don Baylor now is 1-1. Wells pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, but no runs.
Baylor, hot. Swing.
Henke throws hard. He gets that ball well up into the 90s. He has only thrown 1 home run ball this year in 33 innings of work. Not a whole lot of innings he's worked this year, Ray. Of course, they hadn't been in enough leads in a lot of games. Baylor fouls it off. 1 home run he's given up.
We talk about Dennis Eckersley being the A's stopper. Anytime you have a guy, you want to bring him only when you're going to try to save a ball game. And if your club isn't ahead, you not too good of a chance to bring him in.
Baylor fouls it off. Hard to get real good swings off this guy. He throws that hard sinker, got the good slider. And you're always conscious of the fact that he can throw that 90-mile-an-hour fastball right under your chin. Baylor's staying alive pretty well up there.
Well, George Bell, I don't know if he does not want to get in the sun, but he's in the shadows in left field, about 3 feet, 4 or 5 feet from the warning track.
He's been playing out there in the last 2 or 3 innings.
I know. Can't even see him there. That shot.
Don had a good cut at that pitch.
Thing is about a ball hit like that, you're giving the chance for the hitter to get the base hit in front of you, figuring the ball hit over your head, it's going to be a home run anyway. You can get a shot of it. But, playing deep right now, you don't necessarily want to cut the ball off that much. Still tie ball game.
Oh, Don Baylor hit again. I say again because nobody in his career has been hit any more times. He doesn't even rub it.
That's a fastball.
90-something miles an hour hit him right in the arm. I don't know where it hit him yet. He hasn't rubbed it yet.
He won't either.
Number 33.
But just turn into it, Donnie. There you go. Thank you. That's on the elbow, too. He's going to get a pinch runner. Gene Nelson going in to run for Don Baylor.
Gene Nelson
That
running
means
for Baylor.
Nelson's also the designated hitter in this game, if it goes any farther.
Well, I don't know that Tony La Russa is worrying about 8 hitters from now
You're
coming
right.
back to that position. You get guys coming up now who can score the run. Take the chance right now.
You got to play this thing now. You may not get another chance. Well, here's Jose Canseco. He's already hit 2 into the seats today. He's driven in 4 runs. He's going. Look at his bounce throw. Gene Nelson steals second base as Canseco swung through a fastball. Well, what do you know about that?
Element of surprise right there, and I've been back there, Jose, looking at Borders saying, what's the matter? But it surprises you whenever you have somebody like that running. And Borders just came up. I think he had a little trouble getting the ball out of his mitt. He made a good throw. That's not, well, of course, it hit right at the edge of the dirt and the artificial surface, but a lot of times if you bounce it on the turf, that's still a good throw.
Bounced it just a little bit off to the left. That's the only thing. Well, the A's have a runner at second and nobody down, and that might be Nelson's first ever stolen base in the big leagues. I don't know. Strike 2 called, and Jose doesn't believe that one.
Well, I know one thing. Gene Nelson did not get a big jump or a big lead.
Nor did he really breeze it down there. Oh, Canseco now. He's not one of those guys just trying to give himself up here and hit the right side, though. With 2 strikes, he'll be trying to make some contact here.
And he did spread out. He had opened up again, as he did the last time.
Uh-oh, look out, Gino. Nelson didn't see the ball get away from the catcher. Jose threw his arms up to get out of the way of that thing.
That's all right, Gino. I mean, that's you don't want to be taking chances anyway, but here's Jose just trying to get out of the way of the ball there.
Baylor may let him hit him. Not very many guys will.
And I tell you, when you're at second base, it's tough to tell how far that ball got away from the catcher, too. And inexperienced, you definitely don't want to try to do something foolish and not only get thrown out, get hurt on top of it.
There she goes, folks. There's number 3 in this game. Jose, put a tape measure on that one, IBM. Mercy alive.
Think it upset him a little bit that he threw up and in?
Boy. It is incredible to watch this man hit a baseball. That thing went 35 or 40 rows up in the left field stands. And there's the forearm bash. There's another one. And Gene Nelson, look at that ladder. Boy, would you like to be in the dugout and hear those guys get on Nelson right now?
Well, I think they'd rather wait to get in the clubhouse and celebrate a victory before they do it. Watch this swing on Jose Canseco. He tied him up again.
Yep, inside.
Just like the first time. What'd you say about only giving up 1 home run this year?
Yeah, well, now he's giving up 2.5.
You see there when he had to bring his arms in, I think Jose said, well, there's 3. First time in his career that he's had 3 home runs in a ball game. Perfect day to do it, Jose. And he's getting consistent with the way he drops his bat like that, too.
Well, he's taking up practice, for goodness sakes.
It's a pretty good franchise you saw in your picture right there, McGuire and Canseco.
Well, he's hit 2 off Stottlemyre and 1 off Hinkie today. Steinbach after the slider. Wow, did that ball get out of here in a hurry or not? There are the numbers. The A's have made 14 hits, good for 8 runs, of which 6 will be in the RBI total for Canseco tomorrow. It's got to be his biggest night. Who was it had 7 RBIs in a game last week? Somebody last week had 7 in one game.
Is it Mike
I'll
Greenwell?
tell you, it was Clark. Steinbach hits one to the ground to Fernandez. He gets him, and there's 1 away in the 12th inning.
Well, depending on what Mike Greenwell of Boston has done today, and Jose now has 64 RBIs.
There has not been an American leaguer hit 3 home runs in a ball game since 1983. Jim Rice did it for the Red Sox. This is Henderson now. And when was the last time an Oakland A's player hit 3 home runs in a ball game? I know Reggie
Mark
did.
McGuire last year in
Mark.
Cleveland. He had 5 in a weekend, 3 on a Saturday in Cleveland. And that's why Tony La Russa was talking about his hamstrings. Mark McGuire's had excellent success in Cleveland as well as Tiger Stadium. Did very well there since joining the major leagues. Didn't want to take a chance of getting those hamstrings hurt in this ballpark today and miss those next, 8 ball games in Cleveland and Detroit.
Anderson hits one to the ground to Fernandez at short. And he throws another one over there, 2 down. Well, what's incredible so much to me about Canseco
The
is
third baseman, number 4.
he hits
Arnie
pitches that are in
Lansford.
on him. I mean, with his arms not even out there. He just gets that head around on that bat out in front and drives it out of here.
I think an important thing about that, after Henke had gone in 0-2 and just trying to get the ball inside, it was up and Jose got away from it. But from the hitter standpoint, you have to figure that he's not going to come back in there, and he didn't.
Carney Lansford's had 3 hits today.
Like I said, George Bell, I think, was the only other player in the American League, or both. American League hit 3 home runs in a ballgame. George Bell did it opening day in Kansas City
This year?
this year.
Yeah.
Of course, he only has 10 right now, so he did 3 of those in the first day of the season. Here they were in the 82nd ball game.
3 home runs that Rice hit in the game. I think they said that was here.
83.
Lansford fouls it off. I said the last American Leaguer did 3 home runs in the game, but that was here. Whatever bat Canseco's been using today. Hope they get that baby in a silver. Lansford's out of there. Manny Lee is leading off. He got on the 2-out error in the 9th inning and eventually scored the tying run on Tony Fernandez double, and Fernandez will bat here against Greg Cadaret. Greg starts him off with a strike.
Todd Burns throwing down in the A's bullpen. Todd scheduled to pitch in Tuesday's ball game, and the way he's throwing, he's not just trying to get some work in. Tony La Russa is worrying about Tuesday some other time.
Base hit out into center field, so Manny Lee continues to be a thorn in the side of the A's. That's the first runner to reach on Greg Cadaret. Greg had retired 4 batters in a row, and up comes Tony Fernandez, who slapped that double down the left field line that tied it up in the 9th.
Number 1, Tony
I just think if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have the thrill of seeing Jose hitting 1.5 miles.
I hope we don't have the thrill to see Jose hitting again in this ball game.
I'm with you. We got a plane to catch.
I think Carney Lansford going over right now, giving Todd Burns a little more time to throw down the bullpen. We saw him last televised ball game against the Minnesota Twins, Todd Burns throwing in that ball game, and he was scheduled to pitch on Monday night. And I asked him, I said, why were you throwing? He said, I always throw the day before I pitch. And that's very unusual for a lot of pitchers. They usually like to throw 2 days before that starting assignment. But he throws, and he is right now throwing very hard. So
He is. He's meaning business out there. A little high for a ball. Well, here's a very big out for Cadaret right here. Doesn't want to let this guy get on, and the big ones come up.
you have all right-handed hitters after.
Fly ball left field. That's hit well, and there it goes. Tony Fernandez has pulled the Toronto Blue Jays out of the mud pile twice today. It looked like he hit that ball one-handed. Boy, I don't believe that one. That one barely got over the wall, but it counts as much as that 450-footer.
Breaking ball. He got the fastball up Dennis Eckersley. This a breaking ball down and in, and just again dropped the head of the bat on it. Oh boy.
This has been unbelievable here today. Nobody out, and here's Fielder. Cadaret showed no signs of this kind of thing happening, and Manny Lee and Fernandez, a couple of little gnats, have struck the A's bad today. That's only Fernandez's 3rd home run of the year. Fouled off by Fielder. Well, you expect that maybe a Canseco will hit one, but you're surely not looking for a Fernandez to hit a home run in the 12th inning.
Well, I think this game has proven you can't assume anything.
Boy, has it? have beaten these Blue Jays 7 straight coming into today and had them down 6-2. Had them down 6-5 into the 9th with 2 out and a ground ball on the infield and didn't get out of it. And then had them down 8-6 in the 12th. So hand it to the Blue Jays. They have not folded their 10th. Drive to right. Canseco is there and he's got it. 1 out. Bell.
Left fielder, number 11, George Bell.
And Tony La Russa's on his way to the mound. He'll probably see Burns come in here. With Bell and Gruber due up next, 2 right-handers who've got big bats. Tony's looking out that bullpen. And he's already said, bring him in. But Greg Cadaret and Dennis Eckersley were both just on the threshold of getting this thing over, and it didn't happen yet. In fact, if you're an A's fan, you got to hope that it doesn't happen in the 12th inning. So Cadaret pitches an inning and 2/3 here today, and except for this, the 12th inning was very impressive. Gave up the 2 runs.
Your attention, please.
2
Now
hits.
pitching for the Athletics, number 54, Todd Burns.
Well, this is the 6th pitcher used by Tony La Russa today.
Todd Burns last pitched last Monday night, going 10 strong innings against the Milwaukee Brewers. Did not get a decision as that ball game went 14 innings. A's picking up the win in extra innings. Burns went 10 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Very impressive. You mentioned the 87 breaking balls, an excellent curveball. A pretty good chance you're seeing a few breaking balls from Todd Burns to the 2 right-handers coming up. There you see his numbers on the season. His 4th appearance, 1 in relief, 2 starts. As we mentioned before, scheduled to pitch on Tuesday night in Cleveland in the 2nd game of that series, actually in the doubleheader. As Dave Stewart pitched 1 ball game, Todd Burns scheduled to pitch 1 ball game. Bobby Walsh tomorrow, but right now at hand is today's ball game. Tony La Russa has farthest thing from his mind is Cleveland, Ohio right now, just trying to get this win.
Well, George Bell today has had 1 hit, and it was a 2-run homer in the 6th inning. For the season, he's hit 11 home runs. Burns' first pitch, breaking ball low and away, 1-0. Two balls and no strikes now.
First time George Bell has seen Todd Burns looking down for a sign on 3-0. I would be very surprised, a little surprised. Of course, he only hit that he had was the home run to pitch up in his eyes on a slider. He was hacking.
A little more than a hack. He's going for downtown Toronto. Burns challenged him on that one. So he has shown Bell he's got a pretty good fastball. I was asking Todd before the game today if while he was down in the minor leagues, if he were looking at the papers every day and seeing what's happening up here, if he had any inclination he might be coming to the big leagues. Well, that ball goes to the backstop, and he puts the go-ahead run on with 1 out here in the 12th inning on a walk. He said he really didn't read the papers down there. He said he knew what the A's were doing, but really never thought anything about coming to the big leagues.
Center fielder, number 17, Kelly Gruber.
Gruber is now playing center field. He started the game at third base, his regular spot. He's had 2 hits today, both singles. Or the Blue Jays are playing this one very doggedly today. There's the slider to Gruber. Good one it was.
Well, I hate to mention this again, but Todd Burns just has to be concentrating more on just the pitching. He has to come to that full stop.
Base hit left field. Both runners will hold at first and second. Lanford made a good try for it, couldn't come up with it. Gruber gets a hit, and now the Blue Jays have the winning run at second, and Fred McGriff is batting.
There's a case of Connie Lansford playing close to the line. You see there, he had to dive. That ball in a normal position would have been right to him, probably ending in a double play. Right here with big Fred McGriff up, he needs the double play to get out of this inning right now.
McGriff today has had one hit that drove in a run in the second inning. Wow, what a ball game. A lot of contrast to those games we had recently where the A's didn't score any. Everybody's scoring in this one. It's tied up 8-8 in the 12th inning. The Blue Jays are in the driver's seat. Curve in the dirt, ball one. Check swing foul. Steinbach set up outside that time a little bit, and the ball came back inside. Good breaking ball strike. Took a little out that one, too.
That was an excellent pitch right there. Two breaking balls that were balls, and then come back with a check swing, and then a good changeup right there. Excellent pitch.
Tried it again and missed with it, ball three. Well, here's that 3-2 count again. Runners are going. Struck him out. Could get him at third, but Carney wasn't covering. Could have ended the inning right there. Lansford did not get third base covered. Goes at a double steal. Boy, that throw was right on the bag from Steinbach, too.
Another good pitch, Terry Steinbach just going down trying to make sure he blocked it, but Connie Lansford, the only thing I can think was holding his ground as long as possible on the 3-2 pitch and just covering. Actually, he made a great catch.
Play,
Just
saved the
catching
game.
the ball. That's right.
Because it was thrown when Steiny saw he wasn't over there. He just started trying to throw it to a moving target. Now here's Borders with two out, runners second and third. Pop foul ball out of play. And you don't know Burns well enough, or at least I know, to know whether he borders on stopping or not, but somebody's got to be reminding him here to be sure and stop.
Well, so far he has done a good job. Early he was a little quicker. He has stopped more now. But the only question now is the breaking ball he's been throwing down in the dirt. Will that take that pitch away? Because he has been throwing it down to the runner at third base. Nope, he threw it.
He almost hung it in there and almost hit the hitter.
And one thing about it, I know when Ron Hassey has caught him in the two ball games, he's thrown a lot of breaking balls. He's talking to Todd Burns. He does not shake off. He'll go what the catcher calls. And in this case, it could be coming from the bench. Also, Terry Steinbach. Call a breaking ball. He has the confidence he can block it.
Popped up. Lansford's got a play on it, I believe. It's drifting to the stands. He's got it right up against the stands. What a job by Todd Burns after the first two guys got on when he came in the ball game. Striking out McGriff was the big one. Now we're going to go to the 13th inning, and it is still tied up at 8-8. Last half of the 5th inning, free swinging Fred McGriff comes on. 15th inning. McGriff having a big cut, missing. Left-handed swingers at 15 home runs this year. He leads the Blue Jays in homers. Todd Burns came on in the 12th inning. Spins a breaking ball in there, strike 2. Turn one over, missed outside with it. Boy, Hinkie really got tough today after the home run. Burns missed it again. It's 2-2. And he keeps flirting with this count. He's been ahead of 2 or 3 hitters today, 0-2, and then gone to 3-2 on him. He got Fielder on a 3-2 count in the 14th on a liner to left. Hinkie got the 3-2 on Javier and just kept pouring those strikes up there and finally struck him out. That's ball 4, and Steiny's got to get to the backstop in a hurry. That puts a potential winning run on now, free of charge. It's only the 2nd walk of the game, given up by his pitching, both by Burns. And it brings up Borders.
The catcher, number 10, Borders.
Ernie Whitt started. Borders relieved him in the 11th inning.
Well, it forces the A's infielders now to come in. Carney Lansford in front of the bag. Mark McGuire, everybody figuring bunt for the Blue Jays. First as Tony La Russa tried to hit away.
He bunts it hard, foul.
Think about artificial surface. If you have them running or the infielders charging on a possible bunt and the guy swings away, you have them in motion, you have the artificial surface. Ideally, when you hit the ball on the ground, it can open up a lot of possibilities. That's why a lot of times a manager will take the bunt off on turf, depending on the type of hitter. If he's a fly ball hitter, ground ball hitter, ideally, him to hit the ball on the ground.
Definitely went for it.
They might have bunted had tried to bunt a ball too.
Yeah. Strike 2. Let's see if they take it off here now. Well, Tony La Russa has been teasing the press by saying he's got a mystery pitcher for Wednesday. He may have a mystery one for Tuesday also, because Burns was scheduled to start Tuesday's game against Cleveland. Bunt it anyway. Good bunt at that. McGuire tags a runner going by. So with 2 strikes, they left the bunt on. And now they've got Barfield and Laureano to try to win the game.
Well, you have a right-handed hitter with first base open, 2 switch hitters coming up. Actually, 3 switch hitters in a row with Laureano, Lee, and Fernandez.
Game tied at 8 runs apiece. We're in the 15th inning at Exhibition Park, Toronto, Canada.
They're going to intentionally walk.
He'll walk Barfield, who's already hit 1 home run today. I would imagine more than a personnel walk, this is a strategy walk.
Yes.
By that I mean not just pitching around Barfield, but trying to set up a double play.
Well, also you have to figure talked about it before. The guy makes a lot of money to drive in runs, and Jesse Barfield has been very successful at driving in runs, and I think we all know he makes a lot of money. So I mean, it's just part of the game. Set the force play, or the possible double play force as well. Only thing that happens right now, you have two hitters, possible two hitters, Liriano and Lee, who are slap hitters, have good speed. Might be a little tough to double them up,
The second baseman,
but it's a
number
chance you
2,
take.
Nelson Ariano.
The A's have not turned a double play today. Yeah, they did. They did in the second inning. But they had 4 of them yesterday. Lariano came into the game pinch hitting for Campusano in the 9th inning.
Come on, Nelly.
Outside, ball 1. Another breaking ball. It becomes serious now. Can't afford to walk another one and put that winning run at third with 1 out. For the first time today, Burns shakes the catcher off on a sign. And he throws a fastball, fouled off. Ball 3.
Well, the outfield's playing very shallow, but because of the speed of Liriano, the infield has to move in a little bit, so it kind of opens it up a little bit more, but good speed in the outfield for the A's to be able to cut off a blue pit.
Ball 4, he walked the bases loaded. Boy, that was a big pitch right there. 3 walks here in the last half of the 15th inning have put the A's in jeopardy, for sure. And here is Manny Lee, who has had 3 hits, including 2 in extra innings today.
Third baseman.
Well, now everybody has to come in. Yeah, they have to definitely cut the runner off at home. But the outfielder's coming in. Infielder's in.
The outfielders have to get to the position where they know from that distance they can throw the ball to home and get a man out at the plate on a fly ball. If it's over their head, you just start running to the clubhouse anyway. Oh, Dave Duncan, who's in the process of losing a lot of weight, lost about 20 pounds. Takes a little stroll out there. Well, this has been the best opportunity all day that the Blue Jays have had to take a lead in the game. Well, they did have runners at second and third in the 12th inning. Ball 1. He's staying away from those hitters, and that's where he's missing. All of a sudden, the quiet Toronto crowd has turned into an ogre. One and one. Line drive to left field. Javier's got it, and the runner did not tag on that play. And look at that throw from Stan. That runner at third base went down the line about 3 or 4 feet.
And more importantly, I think Todd Burns did not stop that time. I kept looking at the umpires. Forget about the hit. I was looking at the umpires to see if they were going to call a ball. But McGriff that time, when the ball was hit, he came down the line. He didn't go back quickly enough. So once he did go back,
From that distance, he couldn't have scored anyway, but
No, it definitely was a line drive. See, check yourself for Todd Burns here compared to what happened earlier. That has been called a balk today.
well, here's been the hero for the Blue Jays today. Tony Fernandez with a 2-out double in the 9th inning tied the game off Dennis Eckersley. And in the 12th inning off Greg Cadaret hit a 2-run homer to tie the game. And here he is, bases loaded in the 15th. Right back to the mound, and Todd Burns has done it. An escape act of great magnitude.
And I had a feeling he was going to.
Boy. Well, we're going to go to the 16th inning, and I don't know about your scorebook, but this is the last inning I can put in this page of my scorebook. We are still tied at 8-8.
Your attention, please. Now pitching
Well,
for the Blue
that
Jays,
part of the
number
game is over. Let's start
55,
another one now.
John
We got a new pitcher
Cerruti.
coming on, and it can't get anything but better for the A's because Hinkie pitched 4 innings, which is the longest he's ever pitched, I understand, in the big leagues, at least since he's become a reliever here in Toronto.
And this young man here, John Cerruti, coming in the ball game yesterday. He came in and gave up a walk, a home run to Dave Henderson, and then a couple of more singles. So from the offensive standpoint of the Oakland A's, to see a left-hander come in, I don't care who it is, whether left-hander or right-hander, but get big Tom Hinkie out of there because he was throwing hard.
Bidding on the
And after
16th
giving up that
inning
home
for the
run,
Athletics,
he settled
the
down, and
baseman number
it's got to
9
be a
of
breather right now, even though
Gallego.
it's the 16th inning.
All right, here's Mike Gallego now in his 16th inning. I designed my scorebook many, many years ago and put 16 innings in it. And very few times have I ever gone the route with it. A few times I've gone over. Gallego's had 2 hits this afternoon. He's been playing second base and doing it well, and he made what might have been the biggest defensive play of the ball game. It's a little squibber back to Cerruti. 1 out. There'll be a lot of guys getting out in front of this guy after Hinkie.
Well, that's just what I was going to say. It's good to see Hinkie get out of there, but you have to change your thinking on hitting because of the way he does pitch. He'll throw the sinker, a breaking ball inside, but it's a different type of pitcher, not the power pitcher of the Tom Hinkie.
Mark McGwire. I've been swinging that bat well the last few days. Takes a strike on the inside corner. That was a good pitch by Cerruti right there. Last 6 trips to the plate, McGwire had 4 hits with a double and 3 runs batted in. It's like Cerruti is dedicated to keeping that ball in on Mark right now. That inside corner twice on him for called strikes. I believe Mark is seeing that the same way the umpire is. That one is gone. Mark McGwire gives the A's another lead. 1 ball and 2 strike count, and he straightened 1 out. They didn't get that one quite in far enough. And that's the way it is when you play these A's. They just keep going at you, and somebody's going to hit one. Now let's watch the forearm bash from the little guy.
I don't know that that was a fastball. I was just watching Cerruti's delivery. He changed his
The
delivery.
designated hitter, number 17.
I tell you, it went out like a fastball. Let's watch Cerruti here and just see Borders moves way inside. You see the target. I think he tried to take something off.
It was down a little bit even. Here's a strike to Glenn Hubbard, who is the DH now, the 3rd DH used in this ball game by the A's.
Regardless of the pitch, the fact that he tried to go back inside again. Went inside again, and after seeing a couple in there, Mark had to be opening up looking for it. Looked like it was.
It was
anyway.
down a little bit, and he just reached down there and golfed it. Of course, Mark's a good low ball hitter.
Good golfer, too.
Yeah. Well, the A's lead 9-8. Curveball fouled off. Mark McGwire, it's good to see him back in the swing of things, if you'll allow that little play on words. That's his 14th home run, 46th run batted in. Cerruti threw that ball hard, and Glenn Hubbard is out of there. So they're 2 down, and up comes Canseco. Jose today has hit 3 homers.
The right
6
fielder,
runs
number
batted
33,
in.
Jose Canseco.
Big swing. In 71 innings this year, Cerruti has thrown now 11 home run balls. I'm not sure he threw that one, but Mark hit it.
Well, that's 3rd home run by Mark McGwire in Exhibition Stadium. One of those coming early in April, the first trip off of Wells, the left-hander.
In the dirt to McGwire. Hinkie really pitched around Canseco in the 14th inning. There were 2 out, nobody on. He still didn't throw him anything to hit. That's a strike. Catcher moved to the outside part of the plate that time. Jose just took a look at it. He's hit 1 to center and 2 to left today. What a swing. Well, let's see what can happen now in the last half of the 16th inning. The A's have the lead again. They had it in the 9th, they had it in the 12th, and now they got it in the 16th. And coming up for Toronto will be their big guys, Fielder, Bell, and Gruber. We'll be right back.
Introducing the 15 new Chevy Colorados. The most mid-sized trucks ever unleashed. Chevy Colorado. An American revolution.
If a relaxing moment turns into the right moment, will you be ready? Get to know Cialis, the first tablet for erectile dysfunction that gives you up to 36 hours to choose the moment that's right for you and your partner. Cialis goes to work fast and can work for up to 36 hours. Cialis is not for everyone. If you take nitrates for chest pain or certain alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, do not take Cialis. Such combinations could cause a sudden unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. The most common side effects were headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. Erections lasting longer than 4 hours, though rare, require immediate medical help. Discuss your health status with your doctor to ensure Cialis is right for you and you are healthy enough for sexual activity. Ask your doctor if a free sample of prescription Cialis is right for you. 36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
Gateway's got a powerhouse of a PC package for less than $500. Our speedy 310T comes with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, so you get more bang for your buck. Call Gateway today. This offer ends soon.
Try to get to your ultimate goal to go to the World Series, especially for the city of Boston. The fans are absolutely unbelievable. From the first pitch, the stands are filled, and they're there at the end of the last pitch, supporting their team. You do it for them, you do it for your teammates, you do it for yourself. Try to win a World Series. I live for this.
Catch Major League Baseball all season long on ESPN. Don't miss it.
Well, as we go to the last of the 6th inning, it's Cecil Fielder, or as they call him up here, Cecil Fielder. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning for Rance Mullenix. He's gone 0 for 4. He has hit the ball hard the last 2 times up. One of them was against Burns, who's out there right now. Didn't hit that one, strike 1. Burns came on in the 12th inning in relief of Dennis Eckersley, Cadaret. Ken Ray came on relieving Eckersley. Slider missed it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pulled a string on him and got Fielder out front. Strike 2. Reaching for it. Fielder fouls it back. It's over the top of the screen here. Well, you've heard of breakfast at Wimbledon on the networks. How about breakfast, lunch, and dinner from Toronto on the A's television network? Oh, he got him. That was right in there. A fastball. Fielder was surprised and couldn't swing, and he struck him out. 1 down on the 16th. Boy, he wasn't looking for that. 3rd strikeout for Burns.
Well, you get a guy looking outside, diving into the ball, and there's the pitch right there. Good pitch, good fastball, kind of tailing in to the right-handed hitter.
Here's George Bell, who's hit 1 2-run homer today. That came in the 6th inning. He brought the Blue Jays from 6-2 to 6-4 with that one. Strike call from Todd Burns.
That was a surprise. Of course, George Bell hit a home run off the slider, but Todd Burns been starting most of the hitters off with the breaking ball.
A little low. Bell almost jumped at that ball.
He has that weight shift where he kind of cocks his bat or his entire body as the pitch is being made and thrusts his weight forward. And a lot of times that momentum will carry him to the point that he just jumps just to avoid leaning over and falling down.
This guy might be the least popular MVP that's ever won that award in his own hometown. Popped it foul back into the seats, out of play. I don't know what caused that. His arguments over salary and stuff, Ray. How did he get the fans on him so much?
Well, started out with the not wanting to play left field.
That's right, this year.
Right. Wanted to be the designated hitter, and he said, I want to play every day. And walked out of a game in spring training, and Jimmy Williams handled it very well.
Came back on opening day and hit 3 home runs against Kansas City. Look at him jump out after that ball. When he's going to take it, he takes it out there running almost. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bell. 1 out in the 16th. The A's lead it 9-8. And 3-2 again. Well, if Todd Burns gets his first big league win into this one, it can be said it did not come easily.
He'd just be happy to be talking about it, regardless of how easy, just to get it over with, as well as his teammates. The question is now, do you throw in the breaking ball or do you come in with a fastball and challenge last year's MVP?
We'll find out, because here it comes. That was ball 4.
They throw in the breaking ball.
So the excitement goes on. Here comes Kelly Gruber, who's got power in his bat. And he's had 3 hits in this game. Well, boy, when they gave that ball to Burns in the 12th inning,
Center fielder number 17.
they were telling him, it is yours, man. If it goes from now till dark, it's yours. Because the A's bullpen is empty.
Similar setup a couple innings ago. Carney nice for playing close to the line. Gruber hit a ball past him, diving. Carney back on the line again.
Here's a drive to center field. Henderson makes the catch, and there are 2 down.
So this is one situation that would have liked to have been avoided was Fred McGriff coming up here, left-handed hitter. Not that many left-handers other than the 2 switch hitters, Liriano and Lee and Fernandez. But the power guy is right here at the plate. So as you mentioned, if he is going to get that first win, it's going to have to come against a tough hitter in McGriff, trying to get this last out.
He walked him to start the 15th inning. Outside, ball 1. side, ball 2. Pat Borders is on deck. Steinbach, when talking to him, probably said, now keep that ball away from this guy.
Throw it on the grill, Brett.
Came right in there with that one, 2-1.
And fastballs, too. It's not throwing the breaking ball that he struck him out a couple of hours ago, it seems.
Right where Gallegos playing him, and it was not easy, but who said it had to be? The A's win the ball game by a score of 9-8 here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada, and the A's now have beaten the Blue Jays 8 straight times, and this one they had to go. Well, they tell me that this thing is about over here, and the congratulations are of sincere nature out there for the young guy who got this one, and it'll be a fun plane ride over to Cleveland finally, Ray.
Well, it will, especially the Twins lost, so they pick up a game, but more importantly, you don't mind using all these pitchers, all these players, and staying out of here all day if you win. A big win by the Oakland A's right here.
Well, I guess the television fans have to certainly consider themselves fortunate today to have seen something, and Jose Canseco hitting 3 home runs, and that's a thrill always see anybody do that, and then Mark McGwire win it with a home run of his own.
Well, of course, it was the big boppers, the guys that hit the home runs that end up doing it. And of course, taking a home run, not even have to worry about get guys on, get the base hit, but it's good to get it over with.
Well, as we said, we filled out our scorebook, and that's it for today. We're going to be back on the air in just a little while from Cleveland, it seems like. The A's win today and move to 6 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins. Hope you'll join us for our TV game tomorrow morning at 10:30 from Cleveland. For Ray Fosse, Monty Moore saying thanks a million for joining us. And once again, the final score, 9-8 Oakland. So long, everybody.